Harbor Me, Chapter 28. On Friday, Esteban was still gone. Amari came into the art room saying, "The great and perfect world continues to spin on a slant." He threw his hands up like he just said something amazing. We just looked at him, waiting for him to say something else, but he didn't. He took his seat, looked over at Esteban's empty spot by the window, and took out his markers. Tiago reached for the recorder. We all froze. Even Amari, his drawing pad halfway out of his backpack, the colored markers gathered in their rubber band on his desk. Maybe for a millisecond, the world stopped spinning. Maybe Esteban, wherever he was, turned toward the art room and smiled. "Can I record myself today?" Tiago asked. The four of us nodded, our mouths slightly open. He pressed the record button, cracked his left knuckles with his right hand, and started talking. "So now it's almost winter time, right? And we've been coming here for so long, I feel like I know you guys, and you're sort of like my brothers and sisters, and I know I can trust you, right?" We all nodded. "I feel like there's love in this room. I know that sounds corny, but I feel it." He hit his chest. "Right here. I feel like we care about each other, even Esteban." Tiago kissed his pointer and middle finger and raised them into the air. "Wherever he is, he's our brother, and he's our friend, and a part of this room." We kissed our own fingers and raised them into the air, nodding. "I want to tell you the story of Perito. He was my dog. He was part Doberman, part Labrador. He was the best dog. He was my best friend. He spoke Spanish and English. Sometimes, when Ms. Laverne asks us to write in class, it's hard for me. The words don't want to come. I see you guys all writing and writing, and I want to do that too. But the words I write want to come out in Spanish, not English. And people are always saying, speak English, speak English. Not you guys. When you see me and Esteban talking in Spanish, you just say, teach me. You don't say mean things. Once when me and my mom were walking down the block speaking in Spanish, this guy yelled at us, "This is America. Speak English." But I'm from Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico is a part of the United States of America too. So Spanish should be American, right? We all agreed. Amari was drawing, but he kept nodding with the rest of us. Tiago's quiet, but was beginning to make sense to us. "But me and my mom didn't say anything," Tiago said, "because that guy was big and he looked mad. If Perito had been with us, I bet that guy wouldn't have said anything. Perito was big too, and the Doberman part of him was mad protective of us. When me and my mom got to the next block, we started talking again, but mom was whispering, and I was sad that that guy with his red, angry face made my mom quieter. The four of you guys," he pointed to me, Ashton, Holly, and Amari, "you guys don't only speak English. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. But dude," Amari said, "Puerto Rico's a part of this country and you speak English too." "Yeah, I know," Tiago said, "but I only speak in Spanish with my family. And in PR, even though we had to speak English and Spanish in school, I still liked speaking in Spanish better." His voice dropped and he looked down at his hands. "And because I came from Puerto Rico, I'm safe. I don't have to worry. Not for myself and my family, just for my friends." He stared at his voice recorder for a long time. "My mom, when she's at home, she loves to sing in Spanish. She talks in Spanish, she cooks in Spanish. It feels like she even laughs in Spanish because her smile gets so big. But when she goes outside now, she's very quiet because she's afraid another person like that guy will look inside her mouth and see Puerto Rico there. Not the beach or the sparkling blue ocean, not the awesome pastelillos or the guanepas that are so sweet you can't stop eating them. She thinks they'll see her small town of Isabela where her dad raised chickens and on holidays her abuela made arroz all the old way and a fire outside, and everybody begged for the pagayo, the crispy rice that stuck to the bottom of the pot. She thinks people here will say, 'Go back to your country,' even though this is her country. And it hurts her. It makes her sad and ashamed. Because if somebody keeps saying and saying something to you, you start believing it, you know? My mom has the past dreams of Puerto Rico and the future dreams of this place, and this place acts like it doesn't have any future dreams of us." In English, Perito means little dog. Our dog was just a tiny black puppy when we got him. He could almost fit in my hand, he was so small. Some people couldn't say his name right because you have to kind of roll your tongue to say the sound of the two R's together. Not everybody can do that. We all tried to say it, Perito, like Tiago did. Only Amari could say it right though. I wanted to give him a name not everybody could say, Tiago told us. I wanted to make him even more special than he already was. I could whisper it and he would come running. His hearing was crazy good. When people called his name in English, without doing the right thing with the R's, he wouldn't even lift his head. When he was dying last year, I put his head in my lap and I just kept petting him. I said his name real soft, over and over and over. Perito, Perito, Perito. I wasn't scared. He just kept looking more and more peaceful. And then his breath kept getting faster and faster, like maybe in his mind he was somewhere winning a race. And then his breathing stopped, and his eyes closed. I put my face against his head and I said, "You won, Prito. You won the race." And my mom let me stay like that for a long time. Just me and Prito's body in the quiet. Tiago stopped talking. He had tears in his eyes, but he wasn't crying. Not really. Then the tears were spilling over. We didn't look at him. It felt like it would be wrong to stare or say anything. He was in his own world. He was back with Purito, his face on Purito, ahead of them both, the finish line. "And know on my heart," Tiago said, "the language we like to speak is music and poetry and even cold, sweet puregas on hot, hot summer days. But it feels like this place wants to break my heart. It feels like every day it tries to make my mom feel tinier and tinier, like the size of Prito's head in my hands."